Potato dumplings are a frequent side for roast and other meat dishes. They're enjoyed with a ladle full of sauce and very delicious. There are different ways to make potato dumplings. Some are just made from boiled potatoes and others are made with part boiled potatoes and a part of shredded raw potatoes. So today I will show you how to make them from just boiled potatoes. My ingredients today are 800 grams of potatoes. I use starchy potatoes, so the kind of potatoes that you would use for mashed potatoes. Also I need 1 egg, a teaspoon of salt, 150 grams of potato flour, or if you don't have that you can use potato starch, and if you don't have that you can also use cornstarch. You also might want to have a little more of that. Also you need a roll from the day before or 2 slices of toast that is dried a little bit. So I put this into the toast because they were pretty fresh and I didn't have a roll from yesterday. And usually in Germany we use the roll from the day before. We always have rolls in the house, you know. Also you need 2 teaspoons of butter and for decoration a little bit of parsley, and also you need some ground nutmeg. On the blog you can now switch between the metric measures and the customary measures that are used in America. So if you need the customary numbers, you can go to the blog and switch between these 2 units to find out how many potatoes and everything else it is. I will now start with boiling the potatoes in salt water, and then we can start to make our dumplings. Immediately after boiling, I removed the water and I put the potatoes back on the stove for a little moment so that the water that's still in the pot could evaporate. So now I'm gonna mash these very, very well, and then I need to let this cool for a while. Okay, I'll set this aside, and while this is cooling, I will prepare the filling for these dumplings. So this is actually an optional step. You can leave it out if you want. I think though that the filling adds to the texture of the dumplings. It kind of takes some more of the liquid out of the dumpling dough and makes them a little firmer so they don't fall apart that easy. And what I'm making here is basically I'm making croutons. So if you have croutons on hand, you can use them as well. But if you don't, you can just make them yourself. Okay. So I will heat some butter in the pan. And then I will fry these bread cubes and make some croutons. Let's see. Yeah, it's still a little bit too warm. I wait until the mashed potatoes here are cooled so I can touch them and they are not too hot to add the egg to it. So I have to wait a little longer before I can continue. The potatoes have cooled now and they're, well, it's still a little bit warm, that's good. And now I'm going to add the egg and the starch or the potato flour if you have that, the salt and the nutmeg. Starting with the egg. A teaspoon of salt. And be generous with the salt. I once made the potato dumplings with too little salt and they just tasted like blah. So yeah, really maybe taste your potato mass in between so you know if you had enough of it. Some nutmeg here. Let me first mix this in a little bit. Okay, and now I'm adding the starch. Yeah, okay, you see, I didn't need all of the starch that I had. It's already enough. It always depends a little bit on your potatoes. And so you should be prepared to have a little more if you need more. But usually the amount in the recipe is more than enough, and you should just add a little bit and see how your mass is working out with that. So, but I can see this is, it's like Play-Doh. It's very soft, very nice. I'm now taking some like this, and I press this flat, and now I'm adding like 3 of these croutons and close this up here and shape this into a nice dumpling. Like this. And then I put this a little bit into some starch. And I put it in a bowl and continue to make more dumplings. Yeah, I've brought this large pot of salt water to a boil, and I reduced the temperature of the stove so that it is, just slightly boiling and hopefully stopping to boil once I've put all the dumplings in there. Yeah, and that's very important, because if it's still boiling, there is a chance that your dumplings will fall apart. So this is how it's supposed to be. It's close to boiling, but not boiling yet. Okay? Yeah. And now I'll return the lid to this and let this be in this very hot water for about 20 minutes. It always also depends a little bit on the size of your dumplings. Now 20 minutes have passed, and you can see they increased their size and they look very nice. So they're floating all on top here. I will now carefully get them out. This is, by the way, a bowl that I got from my grandmother. Don't they look fantastic? They're really big. I could have made them a little smaller maybe. So you should end up with 7 to 8 of these dumplings. Yeah, and to make this look even a little more delicious for serving, I melted some butter and put in some of the parsley, and now I'm putting that on top. Like this, for serving. And they taste best when you really serve them fresh. Yeah, so this is how we make potato dumplings in Germany. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you leave me a thumbs up, this would make me very happy. Thank you for watching, and wait until the end for more of my videos.